So let's say we want to build something, but for example, Mark, I'm going to pick on you because you have audio now. What would you, if you could build anything right now that would save you maybe like 5 hours per week, what would that thing be?
One, I was thinking about creating an app that would tell me if my car is parked somewhere, if I'm about to get a ticket, to send me a notification that tells me go change the place your car is because you'll get a ticket. I was just beginning to think about that, but it's probably not a good example for you here.
Yeah, that's actually really, we could do something along those lines. So let's okay. So Jira classifier. Okay, that's also hyper specific. But the car parking thing is a good idea, and I'll tell you why it's a good idea, because it's an interesting problem, and the whole point of when you're basically making something new is defining the problem and then figuring out what's possible to do it with the technology that doesn't take months and years. It could take hours and days at most, right? So it's figuring out like that optimum time to do it. Jira, by the way, is you'd have to have integrations with Jira, so it'd be a lot harder to do that because you need to have specific organizational permissions. So you probably won't be able to do it just because of those permissions. Yeah, so, but I mean, there's ways to take information out of Jira and put it in here into your own system and classify it that way. Like, for example, you can use Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork would probably be the best for that, to be honest, and it would help you classify it. But yeah, anyways, so so we're here, this is just, what is this? We got Gemini 3 Pro here, okay? So I'm going to chat with Gemini 3 Pro because Gemini 3 Pro, I like it the best, but you can see how I could use different models. I can use GPT 5.2, Claude Sonnet 4.6. I can use Grok, which is Elon Musk's AI, but I use Pro because I like Pro the best. And so I'm just going to use this thing called Whisper Flow, and I'm just going to talk to it. So I'm going to say, hey, Gemini, I want to build an app that helps me basically prevent not getting parking tickets. And this is going to be my own personal app, and I want to vibe code this app with Bolt.new. But I want to know, basically, I don't think it would be possible for me to do this app, but what could be possible is basically building kind of like a map type interface where it shows, where I tell it where I'm going. I put in the address of where I'm going, and it tells me this is the streets where parking enforcement is typically happens. And if parking enforcement does happen, then it gives me suggestions on the streets that I should park on that's nearby. Does this thinking make sense? Or should I change my thinking and focus on something else to help me solve this problem? Again, the problem is I don't want to get a parking ticket. And so I'd like to tell it and the app where I'm going to go, and I'd like it to basically give me some information to prevent me from getting a parking ticket. So there we go. So as you can see, it's just wrote up the entire thingy here. So now I'm just going to give it to the AI, and the AI is going to basically figure out parking enforcement data. So as you can see here, it's going through some stuff here like API public access, how to build parking ticket prevention app. The thinking makes sense, but there's some practical challenges and adjustments to consider for building a parking ticket prevention app with Bolt or similar no-code tools. Cool. The biggest hurdle is accessible to reliable parking data enforcement. Most cities don't publicly share this, right? It pulls up my IP address and knows that I'm in Medellin. So yeah, a more valid approach would be, instead of predicting enforcement patterns, consider building an app that focuses on parking regulation mapping, show where parking is and isn't legal. Okay. User inputs and reminders, crowdsourced. Yeah, okay. For a personal app in Bolt, this is definitely feasible. You scope it with a map interface, address search functionality, visual indicators for legal versus risky parking zones. timer/reminder features for parking expiration. That's great. So Mark, so now you're kind of getting something that's actually feasible, right? It's something kind of like, it's not exactly what you want, but if this thing was built, it would help you, right? It would provide value. So this sounds good. The bottom line is, okay, so now I'll say, I like the idea of the personal app with Bolt, where there's a map interface showing parking regulations, address search functionality, visual indicators for legal versus risky parking zones, timer/reminder feature for parking expiration. This all makes sense, and this wouldn't be for Colombia, Medellin. This would be mostly for like Europe or United States. So with that in mind, what is like, you go over like 3 different options for, like option 1 would be like building an app that's like the least complex, and then option 3 would be the most complex that a no-code tool like Bolt can handle, and maybe come up with all the different the pros and the cons and the approaches for building this. Okay, cool. It's always good to give it ask for 3 different options because it thinks deeply and it helps you think through the problem too, of like how you would want this to function. So as you can see here, the least complex, just a manual entry map, is just a simple map interface where you manually input and save parking zones. Okay. Basic map view using Google Maps API. Yeah, this sounds good. Manual zone creation. Data source, you manually research and input. Oh, that would take forever. Fastest to build. The estimations here are wrong. Like, it's definitely going to take 1 to 2 hours. It'll take like 5 minutes. No API dependencies, control over data. Yeah. Cons, time consuming for initial setup. Yes. So option 1 does not look good just because it says you have to manually input the data, and we're not doing that. That's going to take too long, and that doesn't really provide us any value. So the middle ground, semi-automated with OSM. Okay, let's see this. So it's an interface that pulls in basic parking data from OpenStreetMap, okay, and supplements it with your manual input. So this is kind of like the Waze of the world. This makes sense. I think this one would be the best. Integrates with OpenStreetMap to fetch take data, automatic display. Leverages existing crowdsourced. Okay, so crowdsourced parking data, that's great, because that means it's just free data that people provide. So that means there's pretty much a unlimited access to data. You don't have to provide any money, and it's user generated data, so there's no like copyright issues or anything like that, which is perfect. OSM parking data quality varies significantly by location. Yeah. And so, which means that there could be a lot of people could be using this, for example, in San Francisco, but not using this that much in Frankfurt, Germany, which is maybe where Mark is. Not sure where Mark is, but I'm guessing somewhere in Europe.
No, I'm in Montreal, Quebec.
Oh my gosh, okay. He's Canadian. Oh, Canada. Yes. I'm from Toronto, so that's cool. That's cool, man.
So, well, my idea at the beginning was to have an app that, based on my location in maps on my iPhone, would know what the parking regulation is on that street at my location, and send me a note if I'm about to get a parking ticket, depending on that specific location.
Right.
And what you said,
you could do email.
What I see there, it could send me a notification, an email, something that would ping on my phone. And I could, when I park somewhere, I could enter manually some information, like some gasoline applications where you enter the price of the gasoline at some garage, and it's shared among the users of that application so that they know what's the price there specifically, and you correct it when you find there is an anomaly or an error. So option 2 would allow the people to get the information into the system, and gradually this would increase and be more and more useful, starting on your own street, then
Right.
all the users would use it and it would help the other people.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be a highly complex app. You'd want to do this in phases, but I just went ahead and told it that we're going to do option 2, and so now it comes with the pre-planning built in here, data layer, search functionality, map library. Yeah, side-by-side approach, prompt strategy for bolts built incrementally here. Issues, yeah, there's going to be some. This is quite a complex. Would you like me to refine any of these phases or with exact coordinates for a specific city? So let's do this since you're in Montreal. Is there any good data for like parking data for Montreal, Canada, like any open source stuff? Can you search the web and can you find, what's the best open source data for parking regulations in cities in Canada and the United States? Then we'll reduce the scope to just that. And so we'll just have one map interface, and then we'll have one, I guess, data provider for the parking regulations.
It wasn't activated.
Yeah, it was.
It's there. It was, oh god.
Yeah.
Sick.
All right, so it's doing some searching here. Awesome.
Oh,
Perfect. I found excellent open source parking data. Montreal, the winner is, gosh, Montreal has outstanding open source parking data. All right. Okay, cool. And there's one for New York City. New York City has a massive, more complex. Toronto is number 3. Hey, look at that. But we're looking for something that's like one data source. Okay, so it's given us a lot of different. Okay, you've given me many different data sources, but I want one data source, one API, one GitHub repository, etc., that I can use for all of these cities. That's not the best, but it provides me enough parking information, so at least I can start with, like for example, Montreal, and Toronto, and New York, etc. Okay, here we go. Right, but it provides a baseline, so that's fine. And it's an API, so that's good. Okay. Okay, that API looks good. Now I need you to come up with a plan for how we can build this, and I need you to write a prompt that I can give to Lovable. That would basically start the process on building this. Like, so there should be 3 different phases. There should be one prompt that explains everything, like the background and context behind the problem that we're trying to solve here, and then the phases that we're going to do, and then write up each of the 3 phases. Here's your complete plan. All right, great. So it gives us the prompt here, which is good. So basically, we're in the pre-prompting phase here, right? So I'm going to give it this prompt, and I'm literally just going to pop it in here. We can choose the different models here. Free allowance for pro users. We'll just do Sonnet. That's cool. You can choose different models. With Lovable, you can't choose the model. But Sonnet 4.5 is very good. Opus 4.6 is definitely the best. So we're just going to go ahead and use Sonnet for now. Click on Build Now, and for limited time, grow and. All right, it's going to go and do its thing. Okay, so let's see what this. I'm building a personal project. The problem is when I do visit a new city, I don't know where the legal. Yep, the solution, a map-based web Yeah, the data source is this. This is the tech stack here. Awesome. We'll build this in 3 phases. I understand the project completely, perfectly. Goal is to prevent this. Main components is this. Notes. I see that you have a Bolt database available, which could be useful for storing user interfaces. Okay, when ready to start with, ready to start with phase 1 of the okay, fine. Cool. So let's go ahead and get, like, quite literally, just copy the prompt that gave us, pop it in, and there we go. So yeah, now we're going to basically just go through the process of doing this. It's going to be a back and forth. It's going to run maybe for like 10 minutes. We'll see. I'll build phase 1 with the map foundation, city selector, and address search. Let me start by selecting the project structure and installing necessary dependencies. So we can kind of see what it's doing right now. It's basically building the entire app from the ground up, which is really cool. And then it's going to ask us for stuff. Like, for example, it's going to, let's see what it builds first. So it's going to use openstreetmap.org. Okay. Address search. It's going to have, it's going to use a geocoding API here. So it may ask us to get the API keys for geocoding so that it works under the hood. So we'll see what it asks from us. Building project, check for you.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's just going to do its thing.
I didn't know there was a database about streets in Montreal.
Well, yeah. It's amazing what we don't know until we do some, AI consulting. Hey, look at this. All right, we actually have a map interface. Wow. Wonder if it works. Ready to move to phase 2 when you are. Yeah. I mean, it is loading, so that's good. It is using a map interface here, as you can see. But we have some issues, as you can see here. Like, I can't type in an address or anything like that. So let's see what it said here. The city selector, address search. Okay, so let's tell. So this is why we got to do things in phases, right? So because there's issues. So I'm going to tell it. The city selector and the address search are basically, I don't see them when the map is in its state. When it's in a loading state, they briefly appear and then they disappear after the map has loaded. So let's figure out how to fix this. And because it's a vibe coding tool, like, we can just explain the problem like I just did, like kind of we're having a conversation. It's smart enough to understand and figure it out. So that's what it's going to do. I'll diagnose the issue. Okay. The problem is likely that the map container is discovering the UI elements. Basically, it's some code that needs to be tweaked. Great. I found the issue. Cool. And then what was the next part? So while it's doing that, parking data integration. Yeah, okay, cool. So after phase 1 is working, use this. Cool. So I'll see right here. Done. The city selector and address search should show. Still doesn't show. Yes, still the same issues before. So now I'll give it a screenshot. Sometimes you got to give it screenshots. We'll just say same issue as before, still not showing. I guess you can't add. You can. Okay. Hey, beer, how's it going, man? Hey, now it's your actual name this time. For the first time, I get to see your name.
I'm not a Diana today or a Maurice.
Yeah, it was Marie's yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So just to give you, I guess Tim here and John just jumped in here. Just give you some background and context as we're doing vibe coding in Bolt.
No, I was a viewer only for about 10 minutes.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I
It's
just
just
missed the. I
Made
just,
them contributors. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we see them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
but I missed the
Yeah.
first 5-10 minutes, I would say.
Well, basically, Mark has a problem, and the problem is that he wants to not get parking tickets when he parks somewhere in Montreal. So,
Oh, I have a solution for you.
that.
I have a solution for you, Mark. I'm in Montreal as well.
But I mean, let's build an app here because why
Yeah,
not? So, and then I wanted to walk you guys through the process. Hey, John. I want to walk you guys through the process of how we would do this. And so, basically, what I did was, as you see, I walked through. You always do some pre-prompting. And you start with a good LLM, and as you can see here, I'm using Gemini 3 Pro. And Gemini 3 Pro basically just had some back and forth with Gemini 3 Pro, and I told it to come up with 3 different options of what we can realistically build, and it came up with like the least complex to the most complex. We end up doing the middle one, which is the hybrid one, which has some complexity but not too much. It has APIs but not too many. And then we talk through the different APIs that we could use or where we can get this data. And then I basically told it, okay, I need you to write a prompt for me so that I can input this, so that I can give this to Bolt. And there should be 3 different phases. You always want to do this in phases. And you always want to have kind of an overview prompt here. So this is the master prompt, so that it knows the overview of the project, the problem solving, the solution, the data source that we're going to give it, the tech stack, and so on. So now we're just on phase 1, and this is what it's built, as you can see here. And it says that, and we're having an issue here where it's supposed to show the map. So as you can see here, it's supposed to have the city selector in the address search, and as you can see, it's just disappearing. So it's there and then it disappears. So we got to tell it, Bolt's kind of being dumb. So now I gotta, this is how you're gonna, this happens a lot. Well, not a lot, but this is a standard thing. So I'm gonna tell you how to fix it, okay? So I'm gonna say, we're still having the exact same issue as before, where the city selector and address bar briefly appear when I'm zooming in and out of the map. And then once the map loads, it disappears. And now that we've gone through 2 different attempts of fixing it and you haven't been able to fix it, that means that this is a deeper issue than what you think. So let's come up with a plan on how to fix this issue, and then come back to me with the plan and ask me questions, and then we'll move. And then once we have this fixed, then we'll move on to the next phase. But let's focus on a plan, and you can do a deep dive through the code base on how to fix this. By the way, I'm using Whisper right now, as you can see, and it's oh yeah, there is as you can see here, there's plan mode. So I'm going to turn on plan mode. So there we go. Plan mode's good because it gets the AI to really think through the problem. When it's not in plan mode, it doesn't do that deep thinking. When it does the deep thinking, it tends to think longer, smarter, etc. And so, clearly, because this is we've tried to fix this 2 times now and we haven't been successful, we have to do plan mode now. So we're doing plan mode. Here we go. Let's come up with quite an analysis. After analyzing the code base, I've identified the core problem. The map container component is used in the position, which is creating questions before we proceed. You want the controls to remain visible at all times. See, these are good answers. These are good questions, because maybe it's designed it to not be visible at all times. And maybe like this, we are thinking it should be visible at all times, and it's thinking it doesn't need to be visible at all times. Because I told it to go into plan mode, and because I told it to ask me questions, now it's clarifying the functionality. So this is really good. So I'm gonna respond to this. Here's my answers to your questions. For number one, the controls should be visible at all time. They should never go away. For number two, should the map fill the entire viewpoint, or should there be a space for the other content? It should view the entire content. I do see, yes, I see at the bottom right now, it leaves some white space at the bottom. So yes, we should fix that. And for number three, are you open to restructuring the component hierarchy, moving the controls into the map components, or creating a dedicated control layer? This is a good question. I don't know. You are the design expert here, not me. So whatever is the best practice in design, from a design and user interface and I guess UX perspective, let's just go with that. Okay, there we go. And now it's going to think. And plan mode is pretty common with these vibe coding tools. I've never used Bolt, by the way. It's my first time using Bolt. I usually use Lovable. So Lovable is has the exact same thing as this. It has a plan mode here. And usually after you go through the plan mode and it comes up with a solution, then it will take you out of plan mode. And then it will actually do some stuff. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to top mode. Answers to your questions for clarifications. Should the controls have any animation or transitional effect? It's whatever you think. Animations and transitional effects is nice, but if it adds more complexity, it's harder to do, and it has high error rates like code breaking, then let's not do it. But if it's an easy thing to do, then yeah, and if it looks nice, then yeah, let's do it. Number two, do you want the controls to have any special behavior like collapsing into icon on mobile? Yeah, it should be mobile optimized. That's very good for bringing that up. It should be mobile optimized. I don't think we need to have any special behavior. I'll let you figure this out. And number three, should the search suggestions drop down extend beyond the controls? I don't know. I'm not a design expert here, so I'll let you figure that out. Whatever makes most sense. And it's okay to just tell it I don't know. I defer to you. It's okay to do that. But because it's thinking through all of this, it's going to now, when it builds it, it's going to really build it well. But it doesn't build it well unless it goes through this thinking process. So this thinking process is really important. Okay, so now it's come up with the plan. This is really standard. It always comes up with a plan, because without the plan, it doesn't. It's like here we go. So the next step here's the entire plan. We're just going to assume, because we've gone through a few iterations now on the planning process, we're going to assume it's good. But now that I've clicked implement this plan, it's going to kick off. There's going to be a series of agents running, and these agents that are pulling in new agents, which don't have any context, they're going to look at this plan and they're going to know exactly what to do because this plan's here. Without this plan, a fully fleshed out plan, it's going to make assumptions, it's going to hallucinate, and it's going to give us stuff that's not working, like what we see right now. See how it's not working? So after this, it should be working. I'll be surprised if it's not, but it should be. So yeah, now we're just going to let it do its thing, which is awesome. So I gotta leave soon. Okay, the application now builds success. Hey, look at that, guys. It works. Wow. Isn't that awesome? Okay, cool. Here's and it's the full map that takes up the entire place, the entire view, as you can see here. Awesome. Okay, let's see. We got some cities here, so let's test it out. Okay, great. That works. Boston. Yeah, it's working, guys. This is cool. But let's go to Montreal here. Let's put in an address and see what happens. Mount Royale. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work. Oh wow, it's actually returning results. This is cool. Oh wow, it works. It actually drops the pin. Yeah, it works. So now we're done phase one. This is all we gotta do for phase one. Anyways, this is pretty much it. This is the process. Quite literally, this is the process. Now that we have a working phase one, right? It works. Everything works. I guess the last thing we can confirm here is there we go. This is how it would look in mobile view, right? And you can choose. Yes, the different phones here. Let's do, I don't know, Pixel 10 Pro, for example. Yeah, it's pretty good. This is how it would work. Because you probably want to use this on mobile too, right? So this is how it's going to look. And it also looks mobile. So yeah,
So
try it, make sure it works. Yeah.
Are these all the free spots? Is that, or where you can park? What
No, right now we're just in phase one. So phase one is just the map foundation.
okay.
Phase two is when we bring in the parking data integration. So phase two is where it's going to overlay that parking data over on top of the map. That's what it's going to do here. See, it says add an OpenStreet parking data display to the existing map. So
Okay.
this is going to be more technical, and it's going to have more stuff here. Like there's going to be a pop-up information, layer control, stuff like that. So, but basically, we just wanted to make sure that everything's working in phase one, which is the map foundation here. Like I'll put lovable. We told it Bolt, but it's switched to lovable. Lovable is the most popular, which is yeah. But as you can see here, create a parking finder web app with these features: full screen leaflet, OpenStreet tile layover. That all works. It has the at OpenStreet features. I guess we need that because it's it's a free version. And it has some city selectors, which we got here, and it has address search, which we got. So we confirm, and then we had some issues, and I showed you guys how to fix it. Go in the planning mode, and that works. So now we can basically, how do I get out of, I don't know, this, oh, I guess I gotta just click this. There we go. So now it's basically, yeah, this phase one is done. So now we would do, it works. Let's proceed to phase two. Phase two, and we just drop it in. And now it's going to do phase two. So it's going to have issues. Going to make some stuff. Wait, I should have actually. Let's do plan mode. Let's do plan mode for phase two. I don't know. Oh, it's not letting me go into plan mode. Okay. All right. So that means we just got to do it. So we're just going to do it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it is going to plan mode. I'm going to plan out phase two, break this into concrete implementation steps. Cool. See, it's doing some stuff down here. It's reading the code base. It understands the task. We can I guess we can't see right into it. Sometimes it lets you actually see the code. Like you can watch it code in real time. I guess on Bolt we can't. This is interesting. It shows you your daily token limit. It actually shows you the number of tokens. That's kind of cool. On Lovable, it instead of showing you the exact tokens, this is correct. It's token limits are high. It's in the tens or hundreds of thousands. On Lovable, it just says you have 5 tokens per day. And I'm like, well, what is one token equate to? Does that equate to 1,000 tokens? 5,000 tokens? I got no idea. So on here, it actually shows you the real token limit. You've used all of your tokens. Well, there we go. We've used all of our tokens, so but it's given us a structured summary here, with how the data flow is going to work, how it's going to look with these apps here. Cool. There's different parking types here, right? Blue circles. So this is how it would look on the map interface. Smart styling, free differentiation, clustering, catching the data, because the data needs to be updated. It's a 16-step plan, ready to start, but we've used all of our daily tokens. So we've quite literally burned through 116,000 tokens just in this conversation. But it made us a functional map that actually works, which is quite cool. Like back in the day, I mean like 3 years ago, if you wanted to do this, it would have cost like $5,000 to $10,000, and now we just did it for free in minutes. So, so the fact that we have to pay, if we wanted to keep going with this, we'd have to. As you see here, they want us to pay some money here. 25 bucks would give us more than enough to do this fee for the month. So, yeah, you could do this, but yeah, that's it because we've maxed out the tokens. But any questions before we end this? Because I gotta leave.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's my first time I'm witnessing a vibe coding session. It's pretty wild, man.
It is wild, man.
Me too. Me too.
It's unbelievable. So how many sessions do you need, or how many hours or sessions do you need before you turn this into something commercially where you can put it out there on a site?
Well, you would commercially define commercially, you know. You're trying to make
like a working
like
working, you put it on a website and people can actually start using it and it's useful. Like how long?
Right now, like as you can see here,
crap.
I would have to upgrade to Pro to share it. But yeah, I just need to publish it. That's it.
So you can create like an app in a day or less than a day.
Less like in 30 minutes, yeah.
Jesus.
So you can see here, it's going to publish it. It's going to publish it based on their self-host. It needs to be hosted somewhere. So a lot of these vibe coding websites like Bolt and Lovable and whatever, they have their own stuff. But here we go. Here's the use. So it's published it within their own application, and it's created, as you can see, a URL here. So I'm just going to share it with you guys, and you can all. I'll put in the chat here, and you guys can all just go to it, and I'll go to it as well. Just to see if it works. And
what
it
if
works.
Okay. What if you want to? What if you register your website? I don't know, freeparkingspots.com, and you want to put it there.
Yeah. So you can do that. Yeah. So you would have to. The steps to do that is you would connect the project to GitHub. So this is like the steps you do afterwards. You connect it to GitHub. Once it's in your code base in GitHub, then you can deploy this anywhere, and you can host it anywhere. You can do your own custom domain name and all that stuff. But that's what you would do after. Now, of course, a lot of people don't know that. So apps like Bolt and Lovable, they're going to tell you, hey, you want a custom domain? Buy a domain here or add your domain, and they're going to make it so that you pay the money to do this when you don't actually need to do that. You can do it for free. Yeah, GitHub is totally free.
Insane, man.
Totally free. Yeah, GitHub's free. Deploying your website needs to be deployed to Netlify or Vercel. That's also free. The only thing you really need to pay for is getting the domain name and
the
domain
registry, like 20 bucks.
Yeah, just namecheap.com is my favorite because it's cheap and it works. It's like parking map. I don't know. Parking map dot whatever. Parking map app. let's just search that. I don't know, man. What do we want to call this? But it'll come up with suggestions here, and that's how you would do it.
And then you'd connect it to GitHub or whatever, GitHub.
That's wild. Parkingmapapp.com is available right now for $10. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Yeah, I don't know. I just came up with a random name because I don't know what to call it. But yeah, so this is what you would do. But as you can see, I don't know if you guys clicked the button or clicked the link, but it works. So we just did
but
it.
Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around the cost. Like, if millions of people start going on your website, like it can all you have to be paying for something, right? Like,
I mean, like this is just a free app. This is just using like free stuff. Like this is using some OpenStreetMap contributor. It's going to use another API that pulls in the source data. So, nah, man, it's basically all free. And there's always hostings like where you deploy your website. There's always going to be free versions for that as well. So,
holy crap! Anyway, I got to get
Yeah.
more into this.
yeah, like that's pretty standard. I mean, like for example, if you want to deploy on Vercel, they want to make money, so they have ways to basically gate, I don't know, feature gate stuff. So yeah. Any more questions? I got one more question. I gotta leave. We're ending this. Okay. Let's stop sharing. Stop sharing. There we go.
No questions, John. I think I should show up in your sessions regularly for me to understand and then come up with your speed. That's the thing that I need to do.
Well, we're all like, so you got me. I'm the face of the group. We got Alex, who normally hosts this. He's even better at this than I am. I learned a lot from him like a year ago. A year ago, I started going to vibe coding sessions, and he taught me basically what I'm teaching you right now is what he taught me a year ago. So now I'm like 100 times more advanced in this, but you guys will be too. And then you got Balazs here. Balazs has been attending these sessions like regularly.
I
for
came
maybe
to his
2 months
session
now.
yesterday.
Yeah, well, he's been attending for a while now, and he's basically kind of like where I am. He's learned a lot, and I've taught him a lot. So, yeah, you guys are going to be there too. It doesn't take too long now, especially when you have support from like myself, Balazs, and you have Alex. Like, I think it's up pretty fast.
Thank you so much.
Hey, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Can we use what we learn here to like actually? Because I got laid off recently. Can we use what we learn here to find work? Like, would a company find this useful?
Well, of course. I mean, like we're teaching you how to build stuff, so you can build like quite literally anything. The sky's the limit. This is what we're teaching you here. And the companies now, like they just want everyone to be a vibe coder or to be an automation builder. It's like you can't just be a product manager anymore. You have to know GitHub. You have to know how to code. Like you have to know how to vibe code now. It's even salespeople, like they're expecting salespeople to know basic like vibe coding. So you kind of like make a landing page and make like a really or no like automation or no gamma, so you can make like a really good deck. And so that you can do the job of like 2 or 3 people now. So the person that knows how to do this stuff is 100 times more valuable than the person that doesn't, right? So yeah. Okay, guys, this was awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow. My
Thanks,
I
John.
gotta go.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Bye.
Cheers.